Jacob from Wager Me This. Make a small adjustment here. Again, I don't have cameras set up. I'm not techie, and that is causing me problems. If I was a tech guru, I would have most of this already done. I'm not good at it. So, I just wanted to come on here. Me and my wife had our anniversary the other day. We went to the casino, went to Oaklawn, went out to eat and all that good stuff. But went to Oaklawn. It was packed. It was Friday night, which is something we don't normally do. It was packed. It was busy. We didn't really have it was just busy. So, but we played some craps. It was okay. It was good. Didn't make $1 million. Didn't really lose any money. Made just a little bit overall. But like I said, it was very packed. I didn't. I just basically played the don't and some small variations of 6, 7, 8. Just depended on the situation. I was playing from the end or the hook on the inside. It just kind of depended where I was at. And it was always over by the dealer over there. Hello, Cleveland. What's up, man? But anyway, so that's kind of what we did and everything. But we had a good time. That's one good thing. But we didn't go there. I wasn't there like focused in. We were on our anniversary. So, I don't normally I don't drink. And what I mean by I don't drink is like I don't get hammered at the craps table like people do. I don't do that. I do have a drink usually, but not like I don't get drunk at home. I don't get drunk, so I don't do that. Not saying that you shouldn't or whatever. I just don't do it. But anyway, so that's what we were doing. We were having a good time. Oaklawn. So Oaklawn's very basic craps, right? Hello, Peter B. It's very, very basic craps. It just has hot bets. Thank you, Mike. Or Mark, sorry. Mark Adkins. Just has hot bets. That's the only side type action. There's no bonus bets or anything. Now, they do have a digital table with the hot shooter bet or whatever it is. We played on the digital table just for a second. Guys, the digital tables are getting messed up everywhere. They're not letting people shoot from stick left 1 and right and 2, or stick left 1 and stick right 1. Just because, guys, it's such a short throw. Guys are starting to just hammer them on those digital tables. And hello, California. And all the people that have got caught cheating and stuff. The digital tables are having problems. Lots of problems right now. Like at Oaklawn, they weren't allowing you to shoot from stick left 1 or right 1. And I've seen it a few other places now. So the digital tables are getting messed up. And what it is obviously if you're trying to be a dice controller and you only have to throw the dice 3 feet and you've been practicing that, you can probably manufacture it a little better. So it's a little tricky. I think they're going to eliminate them 2 spots actually on the future dice tables that they have like that, or they're going to make them bigger. Or what they're going to do is they're going to make the ends of them bouncy. Possibly. I'm not sure, but they're going to make some adjustments because I think the casinos like the idea of only one dealer there, but they've been taking a beating on them because they are easier to play on. And you don't have dealer mistakes and you don't have dealer different things, but they're also much easier to cheat on. So I think overall, they're going to maybe have some revamping done, possibly not allow you to shoot from them sides. I know the one at Oaklawn, and I've been at one that was in, what's up, ATS? I've been at one that was in Oklahoma that was like that, and somewhere else too just recently. 85 Bears. Somewhere else just recently that they didn't allow you to shoot from them first 2 spots. And it just has to do because it's only like half a craps table, at that point. And you're just barely just tossing the dice over to that end. So it's just tricky. Overall, there's some stuff going on. Them digital tables. Okay, so what people are doing on the cheating is they're getting with the dealer. Like the dealer is friends with them. and they're getting there when they're playing alone, like right when it opens or really late. And see, the dealer enters the number that was rolled. So what's happening is people are playing the 12 and stuff like that, or they're playing 300 on the 6 and the hard 6, and then they're entering hard 6 no matter what the dice roll. And so it's a cahoots thing, you know, the dealers and a player are getting in it together. And there was also another cheating thing where yes, it's like a collusion, but there was also another cheating thing where the dealer was letting the player roll the dice before the bet timer was gone, so they'd get to see what it was, and then they could bet, and then boom, so he wasn't entering the wrong number. So these are two instances that I know for sure have been going on, and that's one of the problems. One of the issues with them digital tables that they'll fix is that the dealer physically enters the number. They will fix that. They'll either be like RFID dice. Somehow they'll be able to read the dice. Something will change there to where the dealer no longer fixes the number, no longer enters it, because that's just opening the door to get hammered. Because you got to think, if you got a group of people to come in and cover every spot and you're the dealer, you could easily have a table like that and see it spits out a ticket. So it's different than, let's say, a craps table where you have to color up. So this dealer's sitting there and let's say his run is, let's say, 40 minutes. Everyone at the table can easily make multiple thousands of dollars by him saying it. You know, they just, no matter what, they win, because then let's say they all put their money on the 2. Someone chunks the dice down there, whatever comes up, they say it's a 2, it's 30 to 1. Bam. You know, everyone just won 30 to 1. And so if you kept it reasonable, the reason the last guys I know for sure got caught that I read about was because they didn't keep it reasonable. This dude's ticket was like $60,000. And so they went back and they're like, how did you win this? You know, because you can't return a $60,000 ticket to like a kiosk. You have to go to the desk. So you got to keep it under the limits and all that. And some people have been doing it. But anyways, so that's what's happening with those. Wouldn't be surprised if there's some major changes in those electronic tables. Just don't be surprised when you see that, guys, because that's coming. Casinos will not get cheated. Casinos don't mind cheating you. If you get cheated, it's okay, but they will not be cheated. So now casinos don't go out of their way to cheat you, but if you get cheated, it's actually kind of a difficult process. Number one, you got to be able to prove it, and number two, most of the time they just kind of blow you off, because you're never, you know, most people aren't getting cheated for $25,000. They're getting cheated for 60. And that's kind of the way they look at it. So I'm going to load up this $1,000 in the rack here. For whatever reason, when I go live on YouTube, my angle won't go very wide. So that was $1,000. This is going to be my buy-in. I'm going to do, I don't like naming strategies, really. I think my strategy is kind of end up with names, more so than me naming them. But I've actually, this isn't my specific strategy. It's a guy I know plays it. He calls it the revolving 6 and 8. And what it is he starts at 90 on the 6 and 8, and then he goes 60, and then he goes 30. And then if all three wins, he puts the 90 back on because he's made so much money. And then he just calls it the revolving 6 and 8. He starts high and goes low. All right. So, and it doesn't matter if the 6 or the 8 hits, he drops it down. He drops it down. He drops it down. And it has to do with how it pays out. So we're going to play that today. The revolving 6 and 8. All right. Let's get a blue and a green. That'll be fun. Again, I'm just going to just randomly shoot them, just chunk them down there. So what he doesn't ever shoot the dice, which is very odd to me. I feel like in the game of craps, if you're playing, you should want to shoot the dice at some point. I mean, whether you're just to shoot the dice. I mean, you're playing craps. Why wouldn't you want to throw the dice? But he never does. It's weird. And he told me, he's like, I've only done it like 5 times. He said he's only shot the dice like 5 times. But anyway, so he always works revolving 6 and 8. He calls it. All he does is step down. If there's 1 hit, he steps down 1. 2 hits, he steps down 1. If he hits on the 30, he goes back up to 90. And he just keeps repeating this process. And believe it or not, guys, I've seen him make a ton of money on this. There's a 10. 10 is the point. The only time I really ever see him lose is when he just has too many 7s, right? Because he always works. And there's an 8, 6 deuce 8. So I'll explain why the strategy works, and I'll explain why it gets beat up when it gets beat up. All right, so right here, $105 on 90. You know, win 105. He tells the dealer to regress 30. He says regress at 30. Now, where he plays, they know what he does. He never does anything different ever. Never seen him play a line bet. None of that. All right, so right now, you have 120 at risk and you've won 105. So at this point, you only have $15 at risk from what you've won compared to what you have on the board. So that's one of the things that makes it just really effective. So if he gets another hit, there's a hard 8, so he did get a hit. Boom, now you're going to win 70. Now at this point, you're up $55 no matter what. Actually, it goes even higher than that because you drop it down. So now you have 60 at risk and you have won $175. And so that's what he does. So 2 hits, he's up 100. Now if he hits again here, he essentially tells himself the roll is going long. And see, the reason is if he hits again right here, he will have made more than $180, which is what he'll have on the table. If he loses here, fine, he starts over. And we have a 9, 5, 4. And so he calls this the revolving 6 and 8. He said he doesn't ever play anything else. And I mean, he's one of the best craps players I've been around, so he's pretty good. I'm not using his name because he asked me not to. He plays at Oaklawn. You'll see him there probably 3 times a week if you go to Oaklawn. I'm sure not everyone goes to Oaklawn because you have to live in Arkansas. And there's the 7. All right, so we made $175. We lost 60. So the overall in that one was $115 profit. And he repeats this process every shooter, every time. Does it work every time? Of course not. And when I say he works all the time, every now and then I've seen him wait a shot or 2 and then put his money out. But I'm just going to work it every time here because it's when he has his money on the table, it's working. That's what I'll say. All right. Next shooter. See, the goal for sure is to get at least 1 hit because then the worst you can do is basically be down. You're not getting crushed because you're only going to have 120 on the table and have won 105. So you really need to get 1 hit, but after that, you're pretty good. And there's a 4, 3, 1. All right, let's see if we can get 1 hit in. And a 6, there it is, 5, 1. 5, 1, 6. So that's going to win 105. Right here, we're going to reduce it down 1 step. He calls them steps, not levels. Whatever. I guess it doesn't really make a difference what you call it. And we got a 6 back to back. Nice. All right, right here, $70 winner. So again, at this point, you're free and clear. You're just making a bunch of money. Even if you lose right here, you make over $100 on the shooter. It only took 2 hits. It's a very effective way to play. Obviously, if you roll a 7 when you have $180 out there, it's a very negative. But there's a good chance. There's a 6-4. 6, 4, 10. There's a good chance that you're going to roll a 6 or an 8 before your 7. At least one. And there's a 5. And a 10, again, the hard way this time. The liar. Anyone know why the hard 10 is called a liar? There's the 8. All right, so you made it all the way through the progression on this one. Or regression, whatever you want to call it. It's going to win 35. He's going to take it right back up. And this is the part that usually surprises the dealers. They're like, what? But if you think about it, at this point, you would have made 105, 70, and 35. So you've essentially made $200 and something, and you have 180 at risk. With one hit, you got 10 ways to win versus 6 ways to lose to make another $100. So let's see what happens. And 7 out. Okay, so that's kind of worst case scenario. You get all the way through the progression and then it loses on the next one. But you still were profitable. And obviously you could start this bigger. You could go 240 or 300 and drop down, drop down, drop down. You'd have a lot of steps down. And maybe you just step down to 90. I don't know, but there's a lot of options, obviously. All right, so let's just see where we're at. 400. $925. So we're up all these red chips. I must have made a mistake. I think I didn't pay something right. So I thought we were supposed to be up like $110, but I could just have my math wrong. But we're still up like $60. Here we go. Same thing, 6 and 8. And I could just have the math wrong easily. That could be the problem. All right, let's try it again. And if you didn't like the 2 steps, you could go 1 step. You could go from all the way down to 30 and then up. I mean, there's a lot of options here. Just showing you what my buddy does. 314. 5. So the next one should be a 6, right? There's a 4 and a 5. And it's a 5. 4, 5, 5. That was not a 4, guys. And a 9. We skipped over our numbers. Come on now. And a 5 again. 5's hot. And an 8. There we go. 105. Rank it up. You could quit right now, right? Yep. A bunch of money. And a 4, that's the point. Good shot, shooter. Hard 4, the 2-2. The ballerina. 2-2. Hello, Mr. Athens, Georgia. Everything's still working. Sorry, guys, if I've been missing the comments. It's because I can't look at my phone and play at the same time. Let me see what everyone says. Okay. Just a couple. Go Dogs. It's hard to beat them. The Georgia Bulldogs are monsters in the NFL, or the college football ranks. Absolute monsters. Here we go. Hard 4 again. There's a 6. It's a $70 winner. All right. See if we can get through the progression. Hard 8. There we go. Square pair. You guys, square pair. I thought they had made their 1,000 subscribers. But my square pair friends, square pair craps guys, they have not made it to 1,000 subscribers yet somehow. Will you guys go subscribe to them if you haven't? That way they can get to 1,000 subscribers. They just haven't got there, and I know it's because they don't make enough videos, and they should. But I'm so surprised they haven't made it. All right, here we go. Hello, Mike. 12, 2 6s, all the spots we got. And a 4, that's 2 4 points. So those odds bettors, those pass line plus odds, are loving this guy. Everything's still working. 6 the hard way. This guy is shooting like all the aggressive players that play hard ways and the pass line odds. They're loving this dude. He's shooting well. There's 105. Drop it down. I've talked to him about this. I think there's an argument for this. If you've made it through this progression, to instead of going down, add 30 to each one, each hit. But he said this is the way he plays, which was very funny. We were at the table when we talked about this. That was a 5, guys. 8, there we go. The 6 and 8. This is kind of run you'll get on the 6 and 8s where they're just hitting. This happens. You get a lot of this actually. $70. Where there'll be a run where they just seem to like they can't miss. Here we go. 7 out. We'll take it. That was a good run. Very good run. Grayson. 7437. That's fine. That is a just fine number. After all those wins, we went through the whole progression nearly twice. It looks like we're up probably about probably 400. I don't know. Let's see. There's 400. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I can't count. Here's our $1,000 buy-in. 200. And that's 150. So we're up about 350. This is just an effective style of play, guys. It's not going to work every time. If you have a run of 7s and you're working all the time, this is going to get blasted. But if you have a very normal table that's going to hit 1 or 2 6 and 8s, usually before a 7, you're going to make some money on this. And again, you can choose to be off on the come out or whatever, guys. It really doesn't matter when you turn your bets on. Because when you have your bets on, like if you have your bets off on the come out and you have bets out there and then you turn them on the next roll, that's still your come out roll. That's still the first time you're live. So it doesn't matter when you have your money on. That's a very fictitious thing. Now people will say, well, dice controllers are trying to hit 7s or whatever. And maybe that's the case. But just at a random table, it doesn't matter when you have your money on or off. It doesn't make any difference. Honestly, there's a lot of validity just to having your money on all the time. All the time. You know, now if there's been a long roll and they hit a point and maybe you have your money off or whatever, but honestly, if you think there's a 7 coming and you just turn your money off for one roll, you probably should have just left it on. But now if you were going to leave your money off for like 5 rolls, or you were going to redo all your money so you left it off for a couple rolls waiting to see if that 7 hit, there's more validity to that to me than just deciding, hey, I'm going to have my money off on this come out after being on for 15 rolls. So there's not a lot of, in my opinion, even though I do like when my buddy Mel says, let it breathe, let the 7 breathe or whatever, I do like that, but I like to do it for more than one roll. I don't think one roll is any indication of anything. So, and I don't care if you call it the come out roll or you call it the seventh roll or the ninth roll, or they're all the same in that aspect, right? Now there is some frequency stuff that goes into more sevens get rolled on the shooter's fourth through eighth roll, but that has to do with the bell curve that you see in the craps world. You know, from the 2 to 12, the way it reads out on a chart. But anyways, with that, I mean, that's the kind of stuff, on or off, doesn't make a lot of difference. It really doesn't. But people argue me on that, but it really just doesn't. All right, so if we kept on going here, we could, probably make some more money, but maybe we have some bad hits and it wipes us out. So if I was up $350, which is roughly what I was up, I would be done. I would for sure be done. On $1,000 buy-in, that's a 35% profit. That's a good profit. Especially for just a couple shooters. That's pretty damn good. Anyway, with that, this is just kind of, a strategy, a type of play that I thought people might like to see. I'm actually going to film a video doing it as well. So the video might not go as good as this, And some of the reasons I like to do live is because I've been told that most of my videos I never lose in, which isn't true. I do lose in videos. But so I like to go live sometimes. That way, you see in the dice rolls just like I am. I mean, guys, I don't ever refilm things. I don't ever do that. I never do it. I don't. That's not true. I've refilmed a couple of videos that went too good. So I had an ATS video one time that I did. And in this ATS video, I went like the second shot I shot, it went all the way through the ATS and then back through the small. And I just canceled the video out, and I was like, no, it's not consistent. This doesn't happen often. Maybe I've seen that a few times playing craps, but it just doesn't. People don't go all through the ATS and then back through the small on a regular basis. So I didn't really want to put that on video and give people a misconception of the ATS. Most of the time, guys, in a run of 10 shooters, you might see the small or the tall hit. That's roughly where it's at. Almost all the time, at a table in a session, you're not going to see the all. It's pretty rare. It's much more rare than people want to believe. But hitting the small or the tall actually happens probably once in orbit if it's a full table. So it is worth playing. You just have to understand what you're doing, and that it is a bet that can be hedged, and there's ways to make money on it without having to complete it. So that's one of the things about the ATS that you should be paying attention to, not just hoping it hits. But anyways, with that said, there's some more other things that we can do here. Another thing, guys, dice control. If you're a new, hey, California, thank you. If you're a new craps player, personally, I would not involve yourself in dice control. I would shoot the dice every time you got them, but I would just grab them and chunk them and try to, just have fun with it, spin them in the air, pat the table 3 times, just make it fun, because the truth about dice control is most likely you're never going to be able to do it consistently. Most likely. Very few people can do it at any type of rate that is even worth betting on. So it's not really even, it's not really something you need to involve yourself in with craps. And I'm going to explain why. So with dice control, you're relying on manipulating the dice in a way that you can bet on consistently, right? And that you can rely on that to come up consistently. But if you fail, then you're most likely going to get the bad result, all right? So dice control is as bad as it is good if you're good at it. Whereas if you just randomly throw them, guys, you know the answers. You already know all the answers, right? Randomly throwing the dice that in a set of 36 rolls, on average, overall, if you saw 1,000 rolls or whatever, thank you, Mark, you're going to get 1 2, 2 3s, 3 4s, 4 5s, 5 6s. Let's say there was a 7 here, 6 7s, 5 8s, 4 9s, 3 10s, 2 11s, and 1 12 per 36 rolls on average. Obviously, there's going to be spikes in there, right? You might have a spike of 6 and 8s, you might have a spike of 10s. But if you saw a whole session, let's say you played for 2.5 hours, and you saw roughly 360 rolls, that's 10 sets of that. Hello, Enslow. How are you, buddy? Let's say you saw 10 sets of that, and now you're, it's just, you're most likely going to be falling in those ranges. So you already know the answers to the questions without dice control, right? You already know them. You already know those answers. So you might as well just randomly throw them and play that way, right? You know the 7 comes as 16% of the time, so you should buy the 7 somehow, whether you're laying a bet, whether you're playing the don't. So you should have a 7 available to you. You know the 6 and 8 comes at 14.5% of the time. So you should have them bet as well. Certain things like that, it doesn't, you don't have to rely on a physical ability. That's awesome, Enslow. You don't have to rely on a physical ability to make money at the game of craps. You don't. You have to rely on 2 things mainly. Number 1, understanding the game and understanding how to play the game. And number 2, your discipline. If you're winning and you've met a profit goal, keep your profit goals small, quit. Play something else. Wait a while. Go to a different table. Change something about the situation. Keep the profits you make. Don't give them back. Don't give the casino back the profit. If you do, then you're just playing with the game they want you to play. And that's why the first thing I say in craps is you should always try to take the 7 away. If you want to be a consistent winner in craps, you take the 7 away from the casino. You take that away from them. And at that point, you can kind of do whatever you want. If you'll just take the 7 away. You take the 7 away first, then you can kind of do whatever, because if you're controlling the 7, as long as you keep everything else you're doing within that control of the 7, then you're going to win more than you're going to lose. And then your profit goals, keep your profit goals small, guys, between 10 and 20%. If you'll keep your profit goals between 10 and 20%, you're going to win way more than you're going to lose. But you have to be willing to leave. 6, 7, 8, it can beat you, sure. The thing that 6, 7, 8 loses on is the shooters that have a lot of points. They hit a lot of points. It really doesn't lose on the come out. And I know people say, well, you can lose on the... It really doesn't. It's the points. But that's why I only let a shooter beat me twice. I only ever let a shooter beat me 2 times, and then I move on. But you don't got to just play the 6, 7, 8, right? You could just play the don't and one number. So let's do that right here. We'll use this chips. It's like $1,300 or whatever. Let's play the don't and one other number. And I'm going to show. This is still 6, 7, 8. It's just a variation. All right. So this would be kind of like a, I don't know if you guys remember Road Gambler. That's true, Enzo. I don't know if you guys remember Road Gambler, but Road Gambler played a 2-point Molly. And he did pretty well with it on his videos. I don't know if you guys remember him, but he was fun to watch. And he would sneak into casino. He'd sneak camera into casino and film his play. All right. He was kind of the first guy that did that. Hello, Albert. So here we go. Let's set us a point. And of course we roll a 7 because I just talked about how that doesn't beat you. All right, that's fine. Well, there goes that one. All right, let's try this again. 6, perfect. 4, 2, 6. So this is the worst point you can get, right? Or the 8. It's true. You got 1-to-1 bet. You have the least odds. Yes, I still only let him beat me twice. Yeah, he did put bets. I still only let the shooters beat me twice, but that's just a discipline, a money management thing. Yeah, obviously, you're right. If they're random, it's random. But it's just I don't like a shooter to beat me more than twice. So I'm going to play the 5 for $75. So my 7 at this point is worth 25. If I roll the 5, I'm going to win 105. So as long as I don't roll the 6, hello, David. As long as I don't roll the 6, I'm doing pretty good. Right? And we rolled the 6. So far, this is going atrociously. All right, so we're my 5 will be off because I'm setting a point. This is the only time I think it makes sense to be off on the come out, by the way, is when you're setting a don't point. Because if you roll a 7, you're going to lose everything if you're working. So when you're setting a don't point, this is the only time I think that it matters to be off on the come out. There's the 4. All right, so let's go. Cool. I'm going to play the 8 for 60. All right, so now my 7 is worth 40. My 8 is worth 70. Let's see what happens. Maybe we can hit an 8. Hey, we did hit the 8. Nice. All right, so there's $70 winner. Rack it all up. You got one hit in. You're 2-to-1 favorite on the 4 with 1-to-1 payout. This is the best spot you can be. All right, I'm just going to roll against this. Hopefully I win my $100. Let's see what happens. And we did not. Wow, hard 4. Now, obviously, you can hedge that hard 4 out if you want. In the big scheme of things, it's basically a break even on the hard 4 hedge, hard 10 hedge. Overall, it's just kind of a break even. But it does save your butt, and that feels good. And there's the 9, 5, 4. All right, let's see if we can get on a not hitting the point run. This time, let's do the 10 for 50. So this is just kind of like a 2-point molly, but we're using the don't, and we're keeping our 7 valuable, even though our 7 hasn't paid off yet. There's the 8, 5, 3. And there's the 8, 5, 3. 6, 5, yo. One, 2, 3. 5. So this is very boring, but it's very safe. Oh, hey, there's our 10. Yes, sir. Let's go win $100. I'm not going to worry about the big. Not a lot of reason to worry about the big. I'm going to jump over here and play the 5. Rack my 100. Four. Oh, I almost went to the 4. Dang it. 3. 9. Ow! What is the deal with all these points? What is up with all these points? All right. Let's try this again. Maybe we get a come out winner. I don't know. 9. Okay, we're back on the 9. The 9. Let's just keep it at the 5, but let's bump it up. Let me read what you just said, Enslow. It's a very interesting question, Enslow. Because to me, I don't think it matters. Whatever I bring to the table and I put on the table, I'm fully okay with losing. So I usually stick it out to the end. Um, but I mean, there is value to walking away. I mean, you are walking away with more money, than if you stayed there and lost it all. So I think that's a preference thing. I think that falls in the preference category. But again, I always stay to the end. If it goes bad, it goes all the way bad for me. There's the 5. Yes, sir. I added a $25 chip to it, so it's going to pay $105. So I always stay to the end, but there is value to leaving, I guess. I mean, obviously, if you're not losing all the money you brought. So 105. Let's rack that. Let's move that to the 6 and cap it off here. Come on, 6. There's a 3. Rolled a lot of those. 8, 6 deuce. That was not a 7, guys. That was an 8. 5. Dang it, we should have stayed there, huh? Whoa, out of the table. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to get another dice here. Out of the table. Back to back out of the table. All right. That's interesting. Got two in a row. And a 5 again. All right. 4-1. 7. Okay, there we go. They stayed in the table. All right, so we're going to lose the 6, but we're going to win our 100. So we'll take that. We did win on the 5 for 105. So that one was better. We didn't hit the point anymore. All right, let's stack this up. See how this goes. 9 again. Okay. 9 again. But we got 200 on it this time, so we can be a little more aggressive. Let's go $150 8. $7, dang it. We're only gonna win $50. That's okay. But man, it sure would have been nice to at least hit one or hit the big 7. All right, let's rack this up. Try this again. 9 again. Holy crap. What's up with these 9 points? This is not just all 5 4s either. I'm getting 6 3s too. All right, let's go. We can do 2 if we wanted because we got a lot, but let's not. Let's do $100 10. $100 10. We win 100 on the 7. We win 200 on the 10. Let's do this. Let's see. Maybe we hit a 10. Smack in our face hole with the 9. Pull this down to the don't. That's what we get for being aggressive. It's a joke. There's a 3. Come out winner. $100. We're gonna stack it up. Can we go back to back? And we got a 10. We'll take that though. At this point, was it better just to roll against the 10 and not put any other money out there? It depends on how you look at it. If you put more money out there, you got more chance to win per roll. But you're taking away from your 2-to-1 payout advantage. 2-to-1 probability versus 1-to-1 payout advantage. So it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other here. If you're just going to play one number, I don't think it's that bad. So we're going to play the 4 for 100. So the 7's worth 100, the 4's worth 200. And there's the 8. 6, of course. Hard 4, there we go. Hard 4. That's $200 winner. Again, guys, the VIG, I don't really care about the VIG. The VIG is whatever it is. Anyone that worries about the VIG is worrying about too much. We'll rack that up. Let's move it to the 5. Kind of like doing marching soldier here or something. See what happens. Did we get it? 6. Okay. Come here, 6. Oh, 7 out. That's fine. We won 200. Now we're going to win another 100. We like that. 2-1 favorite. Panned out in that one. So we'll like that. All right. Let's stack another 100 up there. Again, guys, this isn't like a strategy I'm showing. I'm just showing that it can be simple on the don't, and you can win. Simple. There's a hard 4. It can be as simple as just like playing 2 numbers, and it works. It can work, no problem. Let's put 150 here on the 8. 538. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let's go in 175. It's a good one. It's a good one. Let's put 100 on the 9. We'll rack this other 50 up. 100 on the 9. 6. I almost thought about going that way. 4. No. No. Dang it. Man, that was a good run. If we could have got that 7 in there on that 4, that would have been a good one. I mean, we're doing good. It's not like we're not doing bad. But man, that would have been nice. Here we go. 9 is off. And we have a 7 on the come out, of course. Have to have a few of those after a good run. Let's pull that down. Let's go progressive here. Let's go up 100. We got a 6 the hard way. 6. Okay. We got 200, so let's go 100 on the 5. 7. Okay, that's fine. It's a $100 winner. Win $100. All right. Stack one up. Can we get a come out winner for 300? Yes. No. We got a 6. But we'll take it. All right. 300 on the 6. We might as well go 150 on the 8. See if we can get home. Can we dodge it? And the answer is that's a 9. 549. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 6, 3, 9. Okay. Well, that one right on the table. That's 3 out of the table. I don't normally do that. All right, we needed that 8 right there, but that don't count because we had one go out of the table. In the wood is no good. We got a 10. 6, 4. 6, 4, 10. 9. Come on, 8. Where you at, 8? 6, 5, yo. That's not a 12, it was an 11. 8, there it is. 6, deuce, 8. 175. Very nice. Let's go to the 4 for 100. Jump over to the 4 for $100. $5. Okay. 4, 1. 4, 1, 5. Come on, 4. 10. 6, 4, 10. Back-to-back 10s. There's a hard 10. Puppy paws. The liar. 7 out. We'll take it. That was a good run. Bazillion rolls, but we still ended up very profitable. 300 on 300 here. Stack it up one. Can we get a come out winner for 400? Let's see. We cannot. We have an 8, a 5, and a 3 with 400 on the don't. This is a fun one. What do we want to do here? Let's go. Let's do a $200 9. Come on, $200 9. Get there. 5, 3, 2. 6, 5, 1. 7, 5, 2, 7. We'll take it. That was not a 9. I know it rolled over to a 9, guys, but it was a leaner 7. Obviously, I would want a 9 here. It was a 7. So we're just going to win $200 right there. We're going to go to 500. Can we get home? Let's see. Hard 10. $500 don't, hard 10. You are in a great position at this point. This is a very nice spot to be in. $500 hard 10 on the don't, 1-to-1. This is a great spot. We're still only going to play one number because that's what we've been doing. I'm going to go $300 6. 9. Ooh, that was close. Ooh, that was a close one. Come on, 6. 4, 2, 6. There we go, baby. 350. We're going to move over to the 8. Come on, 8. There's a 12. 2 6s. 4, hard way. Hard 4, 2, 2. 5, 3, 2, 5. Smack. 10. Ouch. It wasn't terrible because we did hit that for 350. It was only like losing 150, but it was still rough. Your 2-to-1 favorite, you lose 500 there. Sucks. We're gonna pull that down. We're just gonna count it up. Remember, we started with like 1,350, right? That was something like that. 5, 7. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 50. 1,700. 1,835. Not bad for just playing a don't and one number. 1,835. Up, we made $500 or close to it. Pretty good. That's the kind of stuff, though. See, it can be simple. It doesn't have to necessarily be 6, 7, 8. And you can just play the don't and one number. You could just play the don't. If you're gonna make some moves and do some progression and bump up and stuff, guys, you'll make a little money. I mean, it's not difficult. This isn't a difficult game. People make it difficult. That's what it is. But anyways, thank you for your guys' time. Tony, ATS Landscaping. How did your jersey fit? Did you try your jersey on? I was curious about that. Been meaning to ask you that. How did you try it on, or? Well, thank you, Albert. Well, that's good. That's good stuff. Anyways, guys, I'm going to get out of here. No, thank you, man. Thank you for your patience on that. It was all them. They were just slow. Now, I get it was Christmas time or whatever, but then they were slow. Will the Bengals beat the Chiefs? Okay, let's talk about football a little bit. Guys, if Patrick Mahomes is hampered, if he is injured, you need to be betting on the Bengals with see right now the Bengals are +1 or +1.5, guys. Tease the Bengals. Tease the Bengals. If you can tease them, it's Philly and San Francisco. I would say tease it with the San Francisco side because you're getting points both ways. But guys, number one, the Chiefs don't cover spreads. We've seen that they decided not to cover against Jacksonville. They were covering all game, decided right at the end to not cover. So they ran the ball 3 times. They could have easily got a couple first downs, ran the clock out with a 10-point lead. The Chiefs just don't like to cover spreads. So laying points with the Chiefs is always tricky. But even at home, Mahomes is injured. Guys, Mahomes' game revolves around being mobile. Not necessarily running the football, but being mobile, being able to move around. If he can't move around, the Bengals have the advantage in this one. Also, the Bengals kind of have the Chiefs' number somewhat. Now, with the healthy Mahomes, I was looking at this game. I actually had this game pegged. I did not think the Bills would be able to beat the Bengals. If anyone that had my write-ups, they knew that. I actually thought the Bengals should have been favored in the Bills game. So the Bengals, for whatever reason, kind of have the Chiefs' number, but not in the first half. They don't. In basically every game, the Chiefs have kind of dominated the first half, and that's because the Bengals come in with one idea, and they get all of Andy Reid's craziness and Mahomes making plays, and the Chiefs get up. And then in the second half, the Bengals are really good at making adjustments, and the Chiefs haven't made adjustments, and they end up losing these games. Now, with that said, I was really thinking that this time the Chiefs would not let that happen to them because it's been a consistent thing that happened over and over. And I was thinking that they would come out with a totally different game plan in the second half. And they still may. So I'm going to be paying a lot of attention to the reports. And you guys, if you'll go on YouTube, you can actually watch some of these Chiefs practices. You can actually look at what they're reporting, look at what the other players are saying about Mahomes, because you can get a lot of information off of that. Is he moving around well? You guys, it's a high ankle sprain. A lot of times in the NFL, high ankle sprains keep guys out 4 weeks. Obviously, Mahomes is not going to sit out this game because he's still, the better quarterback even with one leg. So, but what I think it does is I think it puts the emphasis on Pacheco more so. And I actually think that's what the Bengals don't want. The Bengals don't want to have to deal with the Chiefs handing the ball off 25 times this game. They don't. They want to be able to drop back 8 or 9 guys in coverage like they do the Chiefs every other time and defend that. I think that the Chiefs are going to come out running the ball with Pacheco and Tony and jet sweep type motion stuff, maybe even Travis Kelce in weird stuff. And I think that's what they're going to do to force the Bengals to come up. This is my opinion. This is what I think they'll do with Mahomes' injury. And because Pacheco's been running the ball so well and McKinnon out of the backfield, and I think they're going to do a lot of that stuff to start the game. They're going to pull the Bengals in, and then Mahomes is going to start smoking them over the top. Problem with that is when you turn it around and you put the Bengals offense on the field versus the Chiefs, if you put the Bengals offense on the Chiefs, the Bengals are good. There's no doubt, guys. They're good. They got 3 real legit receivers, pretty good tight end, 2 pretty good running backs. The problem is against the Bills, the offensive line issues for the Bengals didn't show up because the Bills can't rush the passer. The Chiefs can rush the passer, guys. The Chiefs had the second most sacks in the NFL. The Chiefs can rush the passer. So the Bengals will have some problems with the Chiefs. Defensive line, they will. They'll have some issues with it. The Chiefs have 3 really legit pass rushers, and then they have 2 other guys. They're run stopper middle guys that are actually pretty good pass rushers too. So the Bengals will struggle with some of what the Chiefs do on defense as well. But it's still Joe Burrow, still Jamar Chase. They're going to get their points, guys. Don't think they're not going to get their points. They will. So with that said, I'm still I'm looking to see what's happening with Mahomes. If Mahomes looks healthy, if Mahomes is 75% healthy, I think the Chiefs get it done barely, maybe by 1 point. All right. If Mahomes is on the field but he's not healthy, I think the Bengals win the game. So that's where I'm at right now. Obviously, I got to have more reports. It'll probably be Thursday or Friday before we get any real answers. So that's where I'm at. As far as 49ers and Eagles, I don't think you can see anything from the Eagles-Giants game. I think one team did not show up at all. I don't actually think the Eagles played all that great. I don't think they did that much. I think the Giants were that bad in that game because everything the Eagles did, there was no resistance. And so that tells me that, and I'm talking offense or defense, if the Eagles wanted to rush the passer, there was no resistance. If they wanted to cover the receivers, there was no resistance. And then on offense, no matter if they want to run the ball or throw there was just no resistance to anything. So one team showed up, one team totally didn't. I don't think you can read anything into that. On the flip side, I think what we got in the Dallas versus 49ers game was exactly how it was supposed to go. Dallas had a very good defensive line, and they caused the 49ers some problems in their rookie quarterback. They caused him some problems. Brock Purdy should have threw a couple picks in that game. For whatever reason, Dallas didn't catch them. I don't think the 49ers dominated the Cowboys by any means. They caused Dak Prescott problems because he likes to put the ball in harm's way, and the 49ers caught him. And Tony Pollard going out in the first half, personally, in my opinion, if Tony Pollard would have been available in the second half, I think Dallas would have won the game. I don't think the 49ers would have won the game. But Dallas is a very bad matchup for the 49ers because of the defensive line. Now they're going to Philadelphia, and Philadelphia has the most sacks in the NFL and almost a historical thing. So you're getting kind of the same thing there. And Jalen Hurts doesn't turn the ball over as much. So I do think that the 49ers will probably lose to the Eagles. But I think it'll be closer than people think. And the reason is because the Eagles don't really stop the run. And the 49ers will just run it down their throat. So I actually think the game will be close. I think the Eagles are a little better and that they have a quarterback that's not a rookie. I actually think the Eagles win. I think it's close. I think it's a 3-point game. Both defenses are really good. Both running games are really good. I would actually give the edge in the passing game to the 49ers just because the Eagles' passing game is kind of gimmicky, where the 49ers' passing game is to stars, I still think the Eagles being at home, West Coast to East Coast, with that pass rush, it's the advantage over the 49ers. So I think the Eagles win by 3, probably. And that's an early look, guys. This is Monday. These games were just played, so that's an early look. We'll see on Thursday. I'm a peach. Thank you. Does that mean I'm a girl's butt or like the fruit? But anyways, guys, I'm going to let you go. I've been on here an hour. I wanted to say hi, check everyone out, throw some dice. We had a profitable day, doing pretty much whatever we wanted. Both. Thanks, Eric. You're fantastic. You guys have a great day.